like to welcome everyone to today's share from our Yakov that's initially the Baal Koreh and Halacha. I would like to have Grace Kosa sponsoring a share for English Torah. 718-851-8651.
Someone asked me why we did this share about Baal Koreh. 98% of people are not Baal Koreh. First of all, it's Halacha that we have to know. As a reminder of a story, once a reporter was this Rabbi Shapiro. He has 500 Talmidim in Yeshiva that they expect to find Rabbanis of 500 Talmidim. He said, no, I want to find Rabbanis of 2, but I want to produce 498 Balabatim that are capable of appreciating a good Rav. They know what is a good Rav. So that's really the truth is we have to be, as the listeners, we have to be capable of appreciating, of being amazing what the Baal Koreh does. He's our shliach. So it's really halachas for the Baal Koreh and certainly for the rest of us as well. And as we'll see today, we have a variety of different questions ranging from all over the halachas of Baal Koreh. But Bez Hashem, I think it's really also, like we always try to do our derech, is one yesod that could give us information. The Levush in Kuf Mem Aleph Dalet points out, in many of his times, and Adayim Hazeh, that there's a kapeh that there's always 3 people standing by the bimah for Laining. In other words, typically there's a Baal Koreh, there's a Ole, and there's a Rabbi. But even if the Baal Koreh gets an aliyah, you get someone else. There has to be 3 people. Why? And since I think this is the Yisayat Arida Lashon, generally, this is the time that they sell aliyahs. That's another point, they used to sell aliyahs in those days. So the one that bought the aliyahs is like the Rabbi, and he's giving out the aliyahs. Now listen to the way he explains it. Because the Rabbi, the Rabbi represents the Shechina. Just like by Kabbalah Torah, there were 3, I can't say 3 people, there were 3 participants. Klal Yisrael, and Moshe. Every Kriya Torah, we have those 3 represented. And the way the Levush breaks it up is that the Rabbi is Keneged HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because he's giving out the aliyahs. The Shats, who are Koreh, we'll soon see in the times of Chazal, they refer to the Baal Koreh as a Koreh or a Shats, but the Baal Koreh is Keneged Moshe. Va'oila, that's Makabel the aliyah, he's Keneged Klal Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael. Therefore, if by Kabbalah Torah there are 3 participants, every Laining has to also have 3. But his breakup is interesting. Moshe Rabbeinu is represented by the Baal Koreh. The Rabbi is connected to Rabbi Shlomo, and the Ole is connected to Klal Yisrael. And indeed, the Shar Ephraim and Gimel Yud says that's why if the Baal Koreh gets an aliyah or the Rabbi gets an aliyah, make sure there's always 3 people by the bimah. In fact, the Ivans in the Siddur says that the bimah is connected Har Sinai. The Shar Ephraim and Gimel Dalet points out that's why the Baal Koreh is supposed to shuckle when he lanes, just like Torah was given the aim of a year of restless Vizia, and we'll soon see that's why many people stand by Laining the way it was done in Har Sinai. It seems very clear that the Kriya Torah is supposed to be similar to Kabbalah Torah. I must mention, I don't think we're going to have a share about Gavoyim, but if you think about what we just learned, that the Rabbi is connected with Rebbe Shlomo, you should be very careful not to complain against the Rabbi. Says the Shar Ephraim, and Gimel Yud, and Mr. Gvrah makes a point of quoting him. Don't check with the Rabbi, that's checking Haviyach with the Shechina. Now some people are convinced that the Rabbi's job is to be blamed for everything, so they want to give him a job. But there's no such job, and no such thing. Be careful with the covenant of the Rabbi. Now, I always wondered that the way he breaks it up is a little strange. Because we would have thought that the Rabbi is Keneged Moshe Rabbeinu, and the Baal Koreh, who's Laining, who's giving Torah like a Keneged HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And when I learned this this past week, I saw the Yavitz in the Siddur says just that. In Hilchos Kriyas Torah, the Shabbos, Ois Chavches, he breaks it up that the Baal Koreh is Keneged HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Rabbi is Moshe, but all agree the Ole is Keneged Klal Yisrael. So, either case, don't check with the Rabbi. Either he's Kaviyachol the Rebbe Shlomo, or minimally he's Moshe Rabbeinu. Also, don't check the Baal Koreh, who's either Moshe or HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But what's interesting, which is more important, the job of the Baal Koreh is referred to in posuk as a shatz. And that's a very wise choice of words. You know, we picture a shatz, the chazan, the shliach tzibur. But in our times that we're all bikiyim, he's not really being moitzi anybody with his performance. But if there's someone in davening that's being moitzi the tzibur, or he's laning for the tzibur, that is the Baal Koreh. And that's why the posuk refer to the Baal Koreh as a shatz, because he really is being moitzi the tzibur. His laning is really helping us. Now it's interesting, we refer to him as a Baal Koreh. In posuk we either refer to as a koreh, a laner, or a shatz. Now the truth is, I'll predict that probably Baal Koreh is improper, because Baal Koreh sounds like the husband of the laner. Baal Koreh is laner and Baal is the husband. Doesn't make sense. So some people call him Baal Kriya, which has more pshat. But you know, the Velt says Baal Koreh, so it's like amein. We refer to either as the Koreh, the shatz, or the Baal Koreh. But what we should mention is the role that the Baal Koreh does play. You look in the Shar Ephraim, beginning of Shar Gimel, written by the Makeh Ephraim, the classic sefer on Torah. He describes how to choose a Baal Koreh, and it mamish reminds you of the way you have to choose a Baal Tefillah for the Yom Narayim. Adam Hogan, Baal Torah Maisim Toivim, and he should have a Hadis Panim, and other milas that Chazal wanted by a Shatz Kabula. Because again, as we explained, he is doing a very important role. He's being moitzi the tzibur in Kriya Satayr. And I say the word moitzi the tzibur, that's a different sugi. He's either moitzi the tzibur or he's laining, but he's doing something that the tzibur has to really listen to and be yotze with. And this is going to explain, and let's learn the halachas of the Baal Koreh. You'll see how many halachas are based on this appreciation of the sacred role of the Baal Koreh. We'll start with the following halacha. It's based on a story which is recounted in the Tanchuma in Yisrei Tezvav. They once gave Akiva, the head of Tana Rabbi Akiva, an aliyah, and he refused to take the aliyah. So the Talmid and May asked, Rabbi, you taught us, Ki hi chayech havarah yomtov, you're now refuse an aliyah. So he said, what should I tell you? I didn't prepare the Laining. And in those days, the Oila also lained. And I didn't prepare the Laining. And he quoted a posuk in Iyov Chav Ches, Chav Zayin, that even HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kaviyachol, when he gave the Torah, Kaviyachol first prepared. So therefore, I can't take an aliyah if I didn't prepare. Now, if you think about this, it's mind-boggling. Rabbi Akiva was so great in Torah that the Gemara says, Menachos Daf Chav Tes, when Moshe was shown Dar V'Darsha of all the future generations, and he saw Rabbi Akiva, he says, Rabbi, we have Rabbi Akiva, what do you need me for? So Rabbi Akiva definitely knew the Kriya Baal Peh. But that seems to be a halacha in Kriya Satayra, just like the Baal Koreh is connected to Rebbeinu Shalom and other halachas, so too he has to prepare regardless of his knowledge of the lain. And this is quoted halacha in Shulchan Aruch Kuf Lamed Tes Aleph. Shulchan Aruch says he should prepare at least pamayim b'sholish, 2 or 3 times. So that's a halacha, that's a chiyuv and din of the Baal Koreh. It's probably a covered haTorah, it's a covered tzibur. Once heard a story, I think it was from our brother Legvrah, when he was a young man, he once spoke, and his Rosh Yeshiva, the Alter Rebbe, asked him, Lou, are you nervous? He said, no, I was calm, because it's no good. You have to have an amein of the tzibur. No matter how good you are, you have to have a pachad of a tzibur. You're speaking for a tzibur. Kriyas HaTorah, you're laying the Torah HaKadosh. There has to be a covered and amein of the tzibur. No matter how much you are zaken b'ragel, you have to prepare. And that would explain, how do you give up an aliyah if it says it's dangerous to give up an aliyah, but apparently it's more dangerous to take an aliyah without preparation. It wouldn't be a bizayin if you refuse an aliyah because you didn't prepare. I'll tell you another interesting halacha. The Machzik Bracha at the end of Reish Pei Beis quotes what he heard from the Zokin, that I guess heard from the Marik, or heard the Shem the Marik, one of the earliest Achrayim, that ideally one person should learn the entire parsha. There shouldn't be any changing of Balei Kriya in the middle. Why? Well, listen to the reason. The original Baal Koreh is Moshe Rabbeinu. He holds that that's the correspondence. So therefore, Moshe was one, Baal Koreh is one. And this is interesting, and this is Ephraim and Gimel Vav quotes this, that basically only one Baal Koreh, just like Moshe was one. Moshe or the Rabbi Shalom, however you learn, connected the Baal Koreh. Now there's an obvious question on this. In the olden days, the Ole also lain. So it came out there were 7 Bali Kriya. So they did change. The parents in those days, that was the alleviate to lain. So there was no choice. But today that there is a designated Baal Koreh, it seems that one should be careful not to change in the middle. Now, of course, it's not ma'akiv. If you have a small minion and no one wants to volunteer to lain, so you break up the parsha into 2 or 3 Bali Kriya, it's nothing wrong. The Ephraim adds, let's say the Baal Koreh was late, so someone else started, but he was comfy, he's looking in a chumash, looking here, looking there. Finally, Baal Koreh walks in. By all means, when you finish the aliyah, change. Now again, it's not ma'akiv, but it's definitely an insight in this analogy of Baal Koreh and his sacred role. I'll give you another fascinating example. We know the halacha is Mikadadin, Megillah, you're allowed to lain the Megillah even sitting. But we know, Kriya Torah have to stand. In fact, many people, even when they listen to Laining, they're not the Bali Kriya, they stand. Manishtana. So that's the Gemara's question, Megillah Chaf Aleph. Megillah, Christ Megillah Oinu V'Yoshev. Mashe'en Kim B'Torah. Why? So a pasuk you understand, it's a havarah Torah or a havarah tzibur, you have to stand. But if you look at the Gemara has a pasuk in the beginning of parsha Devarim, the Amakra va'ata poi amoid imodi. Says the Levush, Kufmem Aleph, the just like by the original Matan Torah, everybody was standing out Amos HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so too by Kriya Torah, at least the Baal Koreh has to stand. Just like the Baal Koreh, Moshe Rabbeinu in those days stood, so too the Baal Koreh today has to stand. In fact, he quotes Yerushalmi, that just like it was given the amein, we have to treat the Torah with the same amein. And this is a beautiful Shitosli. The Levush that says that the Gaba is connected Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm sorry, Baal Koreh is connected Moshe Rabbeinu, the Levush is saying, and Moshe stood by Kriya, like Baal Koreh, so too the Baal Koreh has to stand by Kriya Torah. You also understand why many have a minhag that they stand by lain, not just the Baal Koreh, but the whole tzibur. The Shulchan and Sibei says that's the mahadrin that are makbid to stand by laining because that's a covered for the Torah. Now, I understand Bazari, and you'll see or notice, even those that are makbid to stand by laining during the week and Shabbos, but it comes to Megillah, they would sit. Pash, what's the chiluk? There's the big chiluk. It's a dip in the aimah v'yira of Torah. Megillah is Megillah, that's not Torah. Now, I must mention there were many Gedolei Yisrael that sat by Laining, the Goyin sat, the Arizal sat, and the reason is the same, but from a different angle. A person has more yishuv adas, I guess, he's more meyushiv when he sits, so therefore you're doing a better listening. But everybody agrees the focus has to be the covet of the Torah that was given the aim of the year. Now this explains another interesting halacha, and the truth is, in recent times we don't see this as much. But if you look at all the old sefer Torah, they were very long, big sefer Torah. Our times they're getting smaller and smaller. And that posed a problem, because it ended up that in order for the Baal Koreh to get to the top of the oven, he had to lean on the bimah, and lain when he's leaning. So the question is it mutter to lean on the bimah during laning? So first of all, as the Marmin points out in Simon Pei Aleph, in the Chubis, I'll lean on the bimah al tashmish kedusha. But there's another problem, and that is that the halacha is laning has to be b'amida. The question is, do we say smicha is like yeshiva, and therefore you're not standing? So I'll tell you a beautiful halacha. Regarding edus, this is in Chaysh B'Ramon, Chaysh Mishpi Zayin Aleph, we know edus has to be b'amida, b'yamdu. But the Ramon makes the point of saying, if the edom are leaning slightly, it's okay. Why? Because smicha in that context is not like yeshiva. When is smicha like sitting mamish? If you're leaning so heavily that they remove the stand that you're leaning on, a person will fall down, so then he's not standing. Varai, without the thing he's leaning on, he'll go falling. So basically, leaning fully is like yeshiva. Smicha kitzas, Zohar Ramah, is mutter by lain. By edus. You can look in the Magen Avram, because of Malach Beis, the Mishnah quotes it. Regarding laining, even smicha kitzas is us. Even leaning a little bit is us. What's the chiluk? I think it's beautiful. The issa by edus is, and edus can't sit. Smicha kitzas is not yeshiva. But by Kriya Torah, it's an aim of a year. It's not the issa of sitting, it's the chiyuv to stand, the aim of a year. And leaning, as the Aruch quotes both the El Yerab and others, smicha ktsas is a kalas rosh. You're slouching, you're relaxing. So even though it's not ki yeshiva, but it's not amida. So therefore, the poskim say, or the Ram says this, and the Sharafrayim adds, who adin the gabai should not be leaning even slightly on the bimah during laining. Besides the issa of hana from Tashmish Kedusha, it's a lack of cover for the sefer Torah. Now the truth is that the Baal Koreh, if he mamish can't see the sefer Torah, because if it's big, so then he has no other choice. But basically, the gabai and the Baal Koreh should be standing the aim of the year. The metzias is that for a gabai, just if you have a higher bimah, it's quite comfortable and tempting to be leaning on the bimah. And as we learned, that's improper. I'll tell you another interesting halacha, which I think is this is the pshat in it. There's the minhag, at least where I daven and where I go to campus, the minhag of Torah, that during the week and Shabbos mincha, only the Baal Koreh wears a talus and not the oila. In other words, in many yeshivas, everybody wears a talus, the oila, the Baal Koreh. By Chassidim, no one wears the talus, not Torah, not Baal Koreh. But now camp, and now yeshiva, the oila does not wear a talus if it's a bracha, and the Baal Koreh does. What's the chiluk? So I found the posuk say there's a more of an inyan that the Baal Koreh should wear a talus because he's playing the role of either Moshe Rabbeinu or the Shechina. So there's more of a chiyuv by Kriya that the Baal Koreh should wear a talus than the oil. I want to share with you a question that's to get to every shul, and I'm looking for guidance. Someone can help me. I'll be very appreciative. In every Kriya Torah, there are three people involved. There's the gabai, the oila, and the Baal Koreh. The question is, what's the position by the bimah of these three people? Now, in other words, where do they stand? So if you think about it, if we would want to know what's chashivas when you have three people standing in pretty much in a half circle. What's chashivas? The middle is the most chashiv. Also, what's always the case, the right side is more chashiv than the left side. Okay? So now let's make a cheshbon. If you have to organize the Baal Koreh, oila, and the gabai in that half circle, how would you organize it? So I don't know about you, but I would say for sure the Baal Koreh should be in the middle. Right? He's the most chashiv. The oila, as nice as he is the least chashiv. He should be on the left side. And the gabai should be on the right side. But if you hold that the gabai is connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so he should be in the middle, but that does not possible. So what makes sense is the Baal Koreh is in the middle, on his right is the gabai, and on his left is the oil. Yet, in most shuls, the oila is always in the middle. Now, please just imagine that my stenda is the bimah. You're all mizrach, okay? You're looking at the bimah. I'm the Baal Koreh, okay? So the way it should be is I should be standing on the right side of the bimah, next to the gabai on my right, and the oila is on the left of me. But you'll see 98% of shuls, the oila is in the middle. And the question is why? The oila is in the middle, so the Baal Koreh is on the left side, not in the middle. What's the cheshbon? And the truth is, I saw in the sefer minhag Yisrael Torah, Kuf Malach Gimel, he quotes earlier sources that had it, not like we have it. They had the Baal Koreh, me, in the middle. To my left is the oila, and to my right is the gabai. Like the Shulchan Aruch, the Kamanis, that was the minhag in the Choiv and others. I know a few shuls that have this minhag, but b'derech klal, the minhag is the oil is the minhag. But the pella is the Ramah is Klor had it not like we have it. The Ramah has the Baal Koreh in the middle. How do I know? Because the Ramah says that when the oila makes the bracha, so it's an old shaila, should he look in the sefer Torah during the bracha? It might look like he's reading from the sefer Torah. So don't do that. So the Ramah, the oila should turn to the left side, so he's not even looking at the sefer Torah. Now think about it. Now, for one moment, imagine I am the oila. Okay? So the way it is in most shuls today, I'm standing on the right side of the bimah. To my left is the Baal Koreh. If I turn to the left, I'm looking straight into the sefer Torah. I should turn to the right, like this. So what's the Ramah saying? Turn to the left. The teretz is pasha. Ramah had the Baal Koreh in the center, the oila on his left over here, and if he turned left, he turned out of the vision of the sefer Torah. So the Ramah had it, and most places seem to say that. But leidach gisa, as we'll soon see, the Ktsois HaShulchan says the minhag was like we have it. The Torah Chaim said that was the minhag. And the question is, but what about this cheshbon? So what maybe you could say is, and that's what I saw that the Sibbe Emden says this, and Rabbi Yosef says this, that's this gefährlich. True, the oil is on the right side. I'm the oiler. Baal Koreh is next to me. But it's not so bad because the Rabbi is next to the Baal Koreh. So that makes it that the Baal Koreh is in the middle. So it's Rabbi, Baal Koreh, and oiler, right? But you go to many, many shuls, the Rabbi Rishon is not on the left side of the bimah, on the right side of the bimah. So back to trouble. If you do that, it's a chatzi necham. But there's some shul that the Rabbi Rishon is on the left side of the bimah. So it's the Rabbi, Baal Koreh, and oiler. But in shuls that have Baal Koreh, oiler, Rabbi, so the Baal Koreh is missing all the milas. But again, you look at the Torah's Chaim, Kuf Aleph Gimel, the Torah's Shulchan Chav Hey Yud Aleph. They all say that the way we do it is the minhag b'chol mekayimos. So someone said, oh well, how sure we have a Gabay Sheni? So it's Oila, Baal Koreh, and Gabay Sheni. That's not satisfying because the ik is the Gabay Rishon. Why would we just do things right in the first place? So I didn't find anything more than that. If I never had the shot, I would love to hear if someone could tell me. But one thing I will say, for those of us that have the minhag, that it's Baal Koreh on the left side of the bimah, and on the oila, when you make it a bracha, you look toward your right side, not your left side. And I found Taka Reza Pel, the Karchaim, the Chavasiyah, and Kuflam, the Test Dalit, he says, the Ramah turn to the left side, but we have the minhag that the oila is on the right side of the bimah. So it makes the bracha look to the right side, the like Ramah. And all pashut, pashut. What's more important is the role that the Baal Koreh should realize that he's playing. He is the shliach tzibur. You know, someone asked me that in the shul, should they pay the Baal Koreh for lain? Someone said he should pay us for the schus. But then again, with that attitude, you're not going to get a Baal Koreh. So the emphasis is it's pretty logical to say the halacha not only allowed to pay him, but you should pay him. How do I know? Because the Rajb's Chuvah Aleph Taf Nun was asked if it's kedai to pay a chazan, what we call a cantor, down to the Yomtov. So he says two reasons you should. First of all, he says if you're not paying the chazan, so then the amein is up for grabs. You'll have someone that wants to daven, doesn't know how to daven, not good at that, and you have machlekes. You have to say no to him and yes to him. So keep it off limits. There's a shatz kavua, and no one can daven for the yom. In Taka, there are some shuls, adayim, they have a shatz kavua, and no one else can daven. V'oid, he says, v'gam, a shatz that gets paid will do a better job. He'll feel a sense of achrayus, he'll prepare, he'll be on time, he's a paid employee, he'll do his job. And the Beis Yosef and Simon and Gimel quotes this la'alacha. And Taka, the minhag in many places, so they pay the shatz. So the question is, can the same yisoid apply to a Baal Koreh? So I think it's totally in the two reasons. If the reason they're supposed to pay the shots is to keep everybody else out, to my knowledge, no one's fighting to get him to become the Baal Koreh. There's a big yitzhar for the breitel than the bimah. The breitel, that's what people want, but the bimah, so let someone else lain. So that's not an incentive. You don't need an incentive for that. But the second reason makes a lot of sense. When a person is getting paid to lain, he'll prepare, and he'll be more consistent, he'll be on time, he won't go away for Shabbos, he's getting paid. So certainly we would say there's no issue in paying a Baal Koreh. The only thing I would wonder is, if you really follow the analogy carefully, that the Baal Koreh is kineged, the Rebbeinu Shalom, or Moshe Rabbeinu, maybe it's inappropriate to pay him, because the Moshe didn't get paid, Moshe didn't get paid, but I haven't found that yet, and it seems that it makes sense that if this would be an incentive that the Baal Koreh should perform better, it would be an Indian to pay him. Now, what I should mention is both a Baal Koreh and a Chazan, if you're getting paid is okay, but beware of the issue of Schar Shabbos. You can't get paid for Shabbos or Yomtov work. So the Chazan typically davens slichus the first night, so he's not getting paid for only Yom HaMeroyim or Shabbos, he's getting a lump sum for a whole year's work. A Baal Koreh, if he gets paid for weekday on Shabbos, no problem. But if he gets paid only for Shabbos, and he only lains on Shabbos, that's a problem of Schar Shabbos. So there's a simple lain, so he prepares the lain. And the truth is, you have to prepare the lain, that's the Halacha in Shulchan Aruch. But I mentioned that if he's getting paid, he has to know when to prepare. Someone once told me proudly, I prepare all my Laining Friday night. Friday night. It's a great idea. The Ramah's Halacha based on Rabbi Kiva. But if you're getting paid, then there's no heta to take the money. You're preparing on Friday night, you're Laining on Shabbos, it's one big Schar Shabbos. You have to prepare during the week. Consider the next question. The tzibur in Kufam Zayin, the end of Kufam Zayin, adds, be careful when you're Laining that the one that's holding the sefer Torah, that's when there's two sefer Torah, or during the haftarah, the one that's holding the sefer Torah should not sit, with the sefer Torah behind the Baal Koreh or the Ole. Why? Because then it comes out that the Baal Koreh is standing with his back towards the sefer Torah. So therefore, says Mishnah, the one that's holding the sefer Torah, again on a Shabbos during the haftarah, or there's two or three sefer Torah, the one that's holding the sefer Torah should slide to the side. He's not directly behind the Ole or the Baal Koreh. That's not the minhag now in Shiva, the Baal Koreh moves to the side. What I saw once, Rav Shlomo Zalman, Rav Shlomo Yudayz, he writes emphatically, I never saw this kipeda. It's not a problem because the Baal Koreh is standing by his place. There's nothing wrong with standing with his back towards the sefer Torah. I must admit, at first glance, I didn't understand it. What do you mean? He's standing with his back towards the sefer Torah. When he was there first, he was kind of right. He's doing. But I learned recently the sugya. I understood Rav Shlomo Zalman's point. He has a sacred role to lain. So he's in his place. If the sefer Torah is there, so it's not a steer. I'll give you a mashal l'saber so'oisin. You're not supposed to stand with your back towards the sefer Torah. But during our office, if I'm holding the Torah go around in a circle. So I'm holding the sefer Torah, but I'm right behind someone else that's holding the sefer Torah. I'm in front of someone that's holding the sefer Torah. Is that a problem? No. You're holding the sefer Torah, you're also chashuv. Or you're holding a sefer Torah, and they make hard on the second sefer Torah. So the whole team is mechuyev to stand, but you stay seated because you're holding a sefer Torah. If you're doing something important, you don't have to stand up. So maybe the same svara applies. I'm Laining, I'm the Brunshlam, I'm Moshe Rabbeinu, Kineged HaKapanim. So what's so bad behind the sefer Torah? That's why this is out. Now, if this is true, it won't work all the time. It only helps for the Baal Koreh. The Ole is connected to Israel, he shouldn't do it. Also, during the haftarah, it's just Navi, it's not Torah. So I think we could say that it's definitely Machaber is a Torah, Zalman didn't say it's wrong to slide over. And definitely, the point is, the more Machaber the Torah, the better it is. But you see people, Baal Koreh standing with his back to the sefer Torah. You can't say it's wrong, the Mishnah feels it's inappropriate. Rather, the Mishnah does not blame the Baal Koreh. he said the one that's holding the sefer Torah should move to the side. So the chiyuv on the oiches sefer Torah, but Baal Koreh is okay, but better would be if you avoid it mechatchila. One thing I will say, besides all of the havarah for Laining, the ikka is the Laining. The Torah, the halacha is the Laining should be perfect. Every word counts, and the Baal Koreh should work hard to make the Laining proper. But I want to mention, which has a big impact, and this is the Baal Koreh's dream. The Torah in the beginning of Kuf Mem Beis quotes one of the Rishonim in the sefer that if Baal Koreh makes a mistake, even a mistake that's ma'akiv, don't correct him because you're being malbim pnei pana v'rabim. It's a mistake. We're relying on the sheet is that even if he made a mistake, you're yoytza. As I said, this is a Baal Koreh's dream. He could glide through the laning and no one says a word. Because worse than the fact that it's a mistake, if you're going to scream out, he's going to be embarrassed, you're humiliating him publicly. And I should mention, at some point the Taisus and Saita and the dryness to say this, is there a vayam? Just like Tamar was willing to give her life not to embarrass Yehuda, it could be even, or at least in theory, it's your vayam. But be that as it may, even if it's not Lamaisa, but Malcolm is a terrible amein, and that's the shita of the sefer. However, this excitement is short-lived. The Torah continues quoting the Rambam, but we paskin that a mistake has to be corrected, and we have to correct it. The Shulchan Aruch, in a certain sense, is more demanding. And Shulchan Aruch says the follows: if you made a mistake in the word machzirin, I say, even if the mistake is not ma'akiv, ein machzirin, I say, I'll go arim boy, you scream at him. Yeah. That's like, someone's talking during Chazar Shashat, so you yell at him. Now, what are the two dryness? The goyarim boy or machzirin, I say. So most Mefarshim learn, that says this is really based on this, the Shulchan based on this, that if he made a mistake that's ma'akiv and he already continued, you have to go back. Machzirin, I say. You have to rewind and start again. But if the mistake is not ma'akiv, he says S instead of ace, correct him on the spot. If he ready to invite, let him go. In other words, goyar means correct it on the spot. If he went weiter, leave him. But a mistake that's ma'akiv, you can't leave him. You even have to go back and correct the mistake. I saw the Makar Chayim, is an interesting shot. Goyar boy kadesh yizor lahabo. Shouldn't happen again. And also, this is, you have to be a god to think of this, maybe there's a mistake in his sefer Torah. Maybe the word is written wrong, but it's not ma'akiv, but it's written wrong. That's why he's reading it wrongly. So correct him, I'll say, as I state. And then you'll catch the mistake. But here we see two interesting dinim regarding the Baal Koreh's performance. There's one halacha of machzir naisei, and there's one halacha minimally of goyarim. Now I should mention Muchacha in Kuf Mem Beis Aleph Madur Shliya. He says no. The goyarim boy does not mean yell at him in public. Let him finish the laning. After the laning, point it out to him, or you want to be a little more politically correct, leave an anonymous note in his Talmud. I think you should spend more time preparing, something like that. Leave him a note, but don't embarrass him publicly. So here we see that laning has to be perfect. It can't go unnoticed, whether you correct him or tell him next time. But one thing that the Muchacha mentioned, and I think this is Kedai to mention, he says, if there's a mistake, don't wait. Say right away. It happens, and I wonder why it happens, but it's very insensitive. He lanes, and someone comes after Leah, I think he said the wrong word. And the Rav looks and says, I don't know, I don't remember. No one remembers. What is the Rav supposed to do? I'm pretty sure he said the wrong word. Now, if he corrects him immediately, so people remember, whatever, but what does the Rav do? One person said it, most people didn't hear it, and that's very challenging. And it's also, it's not right. If you feel there's a mistake, correct it right away, and the Rav will decide if it's not accurate. But to wait until Ben Gavra or Gavra is not nice and not right. But what's interesting is, why Taka are you allowed to correct him, make him go back? I mal panav, but there it's his pashut. You can't distort the Torah. He read a wrong word. He said a wrong word. Laining, but if it's ma'akiv, you have to repeat it. But even if it's not ma'akiv, we want a perfect laning. His feelings. Rabbi, you have plenty of time to prepare. Keep it prepared. Prepare. It's like either afsed and afsed. Or you want to say sub of a kibbutz. The job of Baal Koreh is challenging. People's best part of the lain is correcting the Baal Koreh. So they listen very carefully. So outsmart them. Lain perfectly. But it's beyond it. But whatever the case is, there's definitely a halacha of dryness and minimally goyam. I think the advice of the Marmins in Simon Be'alef, the Chazan should learn the Sedra, Shagura Bifiv, Kala Digdukim, B'misabim, with the Tagim, B'le'el, B'le'ra, Yamin, Usmail, B'shar, Kolim, Kriya. V'yikr B'mosan, Ma'oid, Kamila, be slowly, B'lei B'mehirus, don't swallow words. In other words, he has a very sacred role to fill, and he should do it right. The Chaim Falaji in Sefer Chaim Tezayin Gimel quotes, he heard about a dream. It's a Shama Chalem, I don't think he heard from the Mamshif, but he heard the Mamshif had a dream, that they came to him, the Bez Jamal came to him in a dream, there was a kitcher, because once he lained, and it wasn't, one posuk wasn't kilchas. So obviously, there's a mashgiach watching, the person that lains should do it right. What I found interesting, the Koretz Chaim, Kufman Beis wonders, is halacha be'aravoy, and very often let the Baal Koreh just continue. So he puts two and two together. And he says, since the Baal Koreh is usually a Talmud Chacham of great stature, we said, you choose the best person, you can't yell at a Talmud Chacham. So he says, but it's better to have a Talmud Chacham lain, even if there's occasionally mistakes. So his sense of priorities is that a Talmud Chacham and Adam Gadol laning, we overlook things to make sure that he continues laning. Another halacha I should mention is the laning should be done properly. Essentially, Shar Ephraim says, Yikr b'kol ram, shalom loudly, not too fast, v'loy b'mesidus harbe, mishum tereach tzibur. Too fast is no good, but too slow is also no good. And I pointed out, the Maramin says, misun ma'oid, very slow. The Gvrah quotes misun and left out the word ma'oid. Too slow is also no good. People get nervous, people get edgy, it's their tzibur. So, not too fast, not too slow. The good gauge is minhag havarah. Back to Shar Ephraim, it's almost humorous in Gimel Aleph. He says people that are too medactic and they mamish make such tnuas that you wonder what they're saying. They mamish try to say it with such dictum that you can't figure out what they mean. So he says, just do like everybody else does. V'chala mishana mimashat tzibur regilan v'dibur of amaisa yodei al tachtoina. I want to hear from Daniel Kuneski, that's a cloud and everything in life. Don't change from minhag haolam. People are doing this all these years, there must be a good reason. Stop laning in an exotic way, but people, they can't be side with it, they're getting nervous. Lane normally, the right speed, and of course the right dictum. Baal Koreh has to realize that his job is a very sacred one, he should do it properly. The next halacha, the Shar Ephraim in Gimel, says that the Baal Koreh should not talk ben gavra legavra. That's even if you hold that the olam could, but he can't. Why? So it's interesting. Since the Baal Koreh represents either Kadosh Baruch Hu or Moshe Rabbeinu, there was no talking. The Chavas Yor in the Korchaim in the beginning of Kuf Mem Gimel, I repeat it in the beginning of Kuf Mem Vav, in the Kitzur Halachos, he said that when some people have a minhag that the Baal Koreh is also the Gabbai, and it calls up the people to the Torah, and that's improper. If I had the Koyach, I would stop that. He should do nothing but lain. Calling up Yamoid, he says, is a hefsek. Now, why is it not a hefsek literally, but he has to have a single focus on laning, and even the shots being the Gabbai is also wrong. Okay, Lamaisa we saw earlier, there's no changing of Baal Koreh like the Banisha and Moshe, so maybe there's no talking. But this point is certainly to talk things that are inappropriate are really inappropriate. Now I did see Rav Shlomo Zalman Alicha Shleima Yud Beis or Dalet says the Shar Ephraim says you shouldn't talk, but it's not a hefsek. It's just a cover that Torah not to talk. Now why do I say this? Because sometimes the Gabbai, sometimes the Baal Koreh knows a name that they need, and the Gabbai doesn't know it. So instead of him telling, oh, go find out, so tell the Gabbai the name. Or someone just got an uproot, the husband got an uproot, tell the Eid Mazel Tov. No, we can't talk. It's not, it's not Shemon Esrei. So Shlomo Zalman says, "B'makayim sholem," you're allowed to talk. So if it means helping the Gabbai or giving him Mazel Tov, it's not an issue for the Baal Koreh to talk. He just know his place and only talk what's necessary. Ma'aseh Shahoya, this is a true story. A Baal Koreh got an alleviate, which doesn't happen often, obviously, and he proudly said the bracha, and as he always does when he lains, he said amein very loudly. So now let's put things in perspective. He made a bracha on the aliyah, he said amein, and what do? The Mishnah in Reish Tez Vav Aleph says clearly, if a person made a bracha on food and said amein to his own bracha, he has to repeat the bracha, it's a hefsek. However, I saw a beautiful chiddush for Rabbi, you have to have the das Torah that he had to say this, in Ches Tzadik Beis, and he says, as we'll soon see, there's a minhag Yisrael, I found the makar to this, we'll soon see, is in the Mata Moshe. The Baal Koreh says amein loudly as a signal to the tzibur, get ready, I'm laining, and if you're talking, stop talking. So maybe we could say, b'diavad, if he said amein, it's also a tzara for Kriya. Aval atchil, don't say amein, but b'diavad, we could salvage the bracha, it's a tzara for the Kriya. What's interesting, and this shayla happens rather more often, the Oila made the bracha, did not say amein. The Baal Koreh, after the Oila completed the bracha, before he started laning, the Baal Koreh spoke. So let's look again. The Oila made a good bracha, but before the laning began, the Baal Koreh spoke. So what's the shayla? Mavarach didn't talk, but then again, he's laning for the Oila. Maybe his talk is a hefsek. So I found the Birchas Habayis and Dalit Chav Zayin and the Rav Paul and Gimel Membeis for a double parsha without a reason. They say, if the Oila talks, it's a problem. If the Baal Koreh talks, it's no problem. I understood that even though he's laning for the Oila, but he didn't make the bracha. So as long as the Oila did not talk, even if the Baal Koreh did talk, it is not a problem. The next halacha I wanted to mention, because occasionally I see this and it has to be pointed out. It's true, as I mentioned, about the Moshe Kuf Lam, it says that the minhag is that the Baal Koreh says amein loudly as a signal is starting to lain. But that does not mean that before laning he says amein. It happens that the Oila says amein, and the Baal Koreh is waiting for quiet, and as soon as he's about to lain, he says amein. This is amein Yisayma. If it's amein Yisayma, it's also a hefsek. Okay, it's not a hefsek mamish, but it's improper. So every Baal Koreh should know you say amein right away. If you want to get the, you're waiting, you would say, okay, something like that, which is less of a shayla. It's not amein Yisayma. Or else you would say more conventionally, shah or nu. But again, the amein is a signal, but it's also an amein. The Marmins in Pei Aleph, in that same tshuva, seems to say that he says amein after the tzibur says amein, but Mishnah quotes it as, which is more accurate, that he should, this was the Kufim Aleph Zayin, that the Baal Koreh says amein together with the tzibur, but he stretches the amein, that his amein is heard whenever he quiets down, so the tzibur will know that they should quiet down. But there's no doubt about it, there's no heter for the Baal Koreh to say amein Yisayim. There are different minhagim regarding the saying amein. I should mention, a person has to be careful that the Baal Koreh should be careful not to look in the sefer Torah when he says amein. This could be he's about to stop laning, he doesn't get it, he's got other places, so he's saying amein and looking frantically in the sefer Torah. We said earlier you're not supposed to make the bracha looking in the sefer Torah. It looks like you're reading the sefer Torah, so you shouldn't be saying amein looking in the sefer Torah. As I state the Shara Frayim in Daled Ches. I saw a nice havarah in the sefer Kriya B'Torah on the Kuf Ches. He points out, Mr. Gvrah repeatedly mentions psukim of the Shara Frayim. This halacha doesn't mention. Why not? It sounds very reasonable. This is a beautiful cheshbon. If an oila makes a bracha and he reads and he's looking in the sefer Torah, it might look like he's reading the sefer Torah. But amein, the entire tzibur is saying amein. not just the Baal Koreh. Why I think he's laying the sefer? Everybody else is doing it. What's the problem? Now, he's not saying you dafka should look in. It's probably better not to look in, but at least we could say it's not an avla mitzad that. Another chiddush regarding the amein of the Baal Koreh, Gemara says in brachas and amein, this is the pasuk in Shulchan Aruch, that the amein should not make the bracha louder than the mavarech. But I saw the Buchacha, the Tzes HaShulchan, the Samaschayim, the Shari Rachman, the Sharafayim all say that the Baal Koreh could say amein louder than the Oila. And the Cheshbon is Pasha. You're not supposed to say amein louder than the Mavarech unless your kavanah is to order the tzibur to say amein. Here, he's saying loud, not to order the tzibur to say amein, but be quiet. Whatever the case, there's a reason why he's saying it louder than the Oila, and therefore there's no competitive mitzvah there. The legברא in Yozayin quotes the Shari Rachman that you should not say amein and start laning right away. Pause, amein, and then start laning. It shouldn't look like it's one long word. A Baal Koreh's nightmare is when he makes a mistake and people yell out, finish the posuk. And people say it in Yiddish, it has a little more meaning to it, like more authoritative, end the posuk. The question is, if he made a mistake, why should he finish the pasuk? Even though the halacha is called psuke, like pasuk, like paskina, but if you made a mistake in the pasuk, so there's no such pasuk. There's no reason to finish the pasuk. Start again and say it correctly. More so, if the second half of the pasuk is a Shem Hashem, and he's saying Shem Hashem levatala. And taka, to my knowledge, there's no chiyuv to finish the pasuk. You make a mistake, go back. The Tzitz Eliezer Days Nem explains this. He says the minhag has become he finishes the pasuk. No, okay, we'll finish the pasuk then. But if there's a Shem Hashem in the second half of the pasuk, don't finish the pasuk. Go back and say it correctly. So basically, when the Baal Koreh makes a mistake and he doesn't finish the pasuk, he goes starts again. Leave it. There's nothing wrong. There's no din of Be'arin or Nazir. I say he's probably right. An interesting question that comes up from time to time. There's no Baal Koreh available, someone will lain, but I tell you, I have a different havarah than the tzibur. Take it or leave it. I'm not going to change my havarah. But could a Baal Koreh lain has a different havarah? So the truth is the havarah is more tricky than it seems. And I'll give you a few examples. Hasidim say who, he instead of who. So he could either mean she or it could mean he. But litvisha, I'll tell you another problem. Ace he. What does ace he mean? It's a time, like ace l'urkoi, no? But a real litvisha that says an a instead of oi si la'olam is a si la'olam. So what's the word? For saita, from Moshe's bracha, like many real litvisha could not say a shin. So saita can either be a isha saita or a shaita with a sin. Svardim say a pasach, like a pasach instead of comments. And taka is an issue, which is playing the parsha Vayera. The word Adonai is my master, masters. But they say Hashem's name like that, Shem Hashem. So all the havarahs have issues. I'm not saying wrong or right, but every havarah has a problem for the other type of people. So that's why ideally the Baal Koreh should have the havarah of the tzibur. It's a kavanah tzibur, kavanah Torah. Moshe has a beautiful truth in the Gimel Siman Hey. Moshe says that if there's a prominent tzibur that lanes this way, ace or ois or nai or whatever it is, he or who, if the tzibur laning is correctly, that's their minhag, it becomes an havarah. Even if it's different than what was given in Sinai. Moshe has a goyim shirayim, because I want to ask you which Kriya is ma'akiv min ha-Torah, every word and every pronunciation. We say parsha Zach, it's not right, because some say it's Rabbanan. There's one kriya that's ma'akiv the araisa, and that's the kriya of the chalitza. It's in Gemara. If you can't plain words, you can't make chalitza. So Rosh says, what do they make chalitza? They have 40 different chalitzas. So obviously, if it's an acceptable kriya, that's why people lain, it's acceptable. So basically, regarding regular laning, you better get your own havarah, but definitely a different havarah yoytza. Some say by parsha Zachar there's more of an Indian, or Megillah is more of an Indian. But basically, if there's no Baal Koreh, someone else could lain. If there's no Baal Koreh, So here, it's an old minhag, I don't know the word minhag is right, an old emergency hatch, but you hold the chumash, in front of the sefer Torah, and the person looks in the chumash and looks in the sefer Torah. This is the problem, because in the Shulchan Aruch and Guf Lametes Gimel, it's also liquids afilu ois acha shalem and aksav. Zok Rav Moshe Chayil Gimel Siman Yud Tes. How do you know when someone looks in the chumash and the laning is clear? He's going to look in the sefer Torah, make a point, and laning every word from the sefer Torah. Is he laning from the sefer Torah or is he laning from the chumash? You tell me. Laning from the chumash, you're not going to. So Rav Moshe says it's better would be if someone on the side, a Rabbi, or some people are good with this, would help him. Now, Moshe does not say he should lain into his ear, because then, weiter, he's not laying the Torah, laying for his big toe. Moshe says to make, I think what he means is to make motion, and I've seen this, people are good at it. They say, like, you move the hand up, that means you go up, down, stop, pause. But if you tell him what to do, he's listening to you. If you read the Chumash, he's reading the Chumash. The best thing would be to guide him with hand motions as opposed to talking, so then he's on his own. But Lamaisa, this is what Ramosha recommends. Not to use the Chumash, better coach him as he lanes. I did see the Buchach and Kuf Mem Beis, Sif Beis, Amshtamizam, the Shlem, Yud Beis, Ches, Nashakhoin, Zayin, Yud Tes, all feel that it's nothing wrong with laning from the Chumash, as long as he is trustworthy that he's going to look at the Chumash and then lane. Now this is a tricky question, I'll tell you. Because if I look into something, let's say I look into the sefer Torah, and then I get vacant, I close my eyes, and I lane. Did I read it, or am I saying it from memory? So Moshe says, if you look at the Chumash, and then you pick up your head, and if you lane Torah Kadim, what you saw in the sefer Torah, that's good. Why? Because you're not saying it from memory, you're reading it. I'll give you an example. Someone making a speech. So either he could read the posuk from his notes, so he's reading it. Or he could look, and I'll say, oh, it's the you see, brace, Barley kid, and he says it from memory. You have to read from the Torah. If you look, and then you lift your head up, and you say it from memory, it's not good. So Rav Moshe Taka says, if you look in the Chumash, and then you close your eyes, lift your head, whatever it is, sometimes the Rabbi close the sefer Torah by the last word. Or some people lift their head by the last word. So if you read it, and it's Torah they dibba, you would be yoitza. Rav Moshe says that, but when it comes to looking at a Chumash, it comes out of Chumrah. You saw the Chumash, says sefer Torah, how do we know you're not laning from the Chumash? So best would be you get a lain person knows how to lane well. Otherwise, either you coach him, which seems to be all agreed the best, he does it right. But if you use a Chumash, you have to be very, very careful not to be laning from the Chumash. Those that you see some of the Baal Koreh at the end, they lift up their heads, the last few words, with Chazana said, they don't even, you got to be careful. If indeed he saw the word and he reads it, what he just said is okay. If he knows it Baal Peh, he's being Koreh al Peh, and it's not a big problem. The Marmins and Korchaim, the Rabbi, Sharfaim all say, don't close your eyes when laning, don't lift your head, read every last word from the sefer Torah. But again, at the end of the day, someone lifted his eyes, closes his eyes, you can't say it's ma'akim as long as he's actually laning from the sefer Torah. There are some shuls do not allow a Bar Mitzvah to lane the entire parsha, only the maftir. The reason is not because you're afraid maybe he's not a gadol, because the ikad din, a cotton is allowed to lane. One of the problems is he won't lane well, but even if he does, it's somewhat fakir. This boy knows the parsha Yoshev Afach. He knows the Baal Peh, and he sometimes lanes his Baal Peh. I wasn't in Bar Mitzvah yesterday, it was many moons ago, and I still probably lane the parsha Baal Peh. Years of the Yankasa. So how do you know that he's a little nervous and a little hasty, he's not laning a Baal Peh? So that's one of the concerns. If those who do lane it, make sure that he's not laning from the sefer Torah. A tricky laning question, I'll give you an example of Parsha Kisavai. The Kri is vatchayim, uvatchayim, and it says in the posuk, ubafayim. What do? You can't lane Baal Peh, but you look at afayim, how do you get to ubafayim? So the Sharfrayim in Gimel says you have to see the words, but read the words vatchayim. If the ches of vatchayim is missing, the sefer is possible. You have to see the word vatchayim and read it I'm sorry, they have to see the word Ba'cholim, that's the ksiv, and read it Ba'cholim. And in the Pischei Sharmi, there's a beautiful analogy. We see Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, and we lain it Adnas. We don't lain it as it's written. That's where you have to look at a Kriya and a ksiv. But you can't say it Baal Peh. A few more sort of questions. Someone asked about using a pointer. Yeah, is it anything problem? Is it good or not? So if the Baal Koreh is overzealous and he's rubbing out the letters as he goes, obviously that's mechikas Torah is no good. But the Shem Zalman and Alichas with Beis Ches says if his God is blocking the vision of the Oila, so the Oila can't do his job. He can't make the sefer Torah, lain alone. So that's not a good idea. But otherwise, if it's done properly, it's okay. A Baal Koreh once asked me, his mouth gets very dry, he wants to drink water during Laining. So the truth is there are three shaylas. Could he drink during Laining, else have sick? Does he have to make a bracha? And on Shabbos, he have to make kiddush. So one answers the other. If he's drinking only the Shem Tzibur, he's not enjoying the water. It's like Chanpei Umsa, there's no bracha, there's no kiddush, and therefore there's no problem of hefsek in Laining. Someone had a suggestion, if the Baal Koreh is not available, can't lain, whatever it is, they make today, I haven't seen it, but I'd love to see it, they have a plastic, that's see-through obviously, and there are the kudais and trup in the proper place. So you put the plastic on the sefer Torah, you have the oasis to sefer Torah through the plastic, and you have the nekudas in the bottom and drop on the top, which is a Baal Koreh's dream, l'chol days. So the problem is the plastic a chatzitza of the sefer Torah. So Ram will say, well, I wear glasses, it's also plastic, but the glass is helping the vision. This is not helping the vision. And Taka, many poskim, Zalman, Cheshleim, Shagamer, all say the plastic is a hefsek. Rabbi and Cheschaf says, even if it's not a hefsek, the problem is you're changing from minhag Yisrael. They didn't have this, and don't be the first, don't be innovative in Klal Yisrael, minhagim, keep the minhag as it is. Now someone said, but the Baal Koreh that I know, he spits a lot as he talks, and the saliva goes out of his mouth. That's not a reason to use plastic. Tell him to hold a tissue near his mouth or a razor, whatever it is, but he can't change minhag ha'adam. A Baal Koreh is sometimes given the aliyah chazak. I should mention, most posuk, Rabbi and many others say chazak is said as a bracha to the oila or Baal Koreh, or both. It's improper to say about yourself chazak chazak. So whether it's the oila or the Baal Koreh, whether the oila or the Baal Koreh should not say chazak. Generally, the Baal Koreh does say chazak. If he got the aliyah, he should not say chazak. Who says chazak? The Gabbai says chazak. If there's no Baal Koreh except someone's holding during the middle of Sukkot Zimra or Birchas Krishma. Now, if he's holding there, he's probably not qualified to lain if he's so late. But I imagine he was early for the next minyan. The kid's up, he wants to lain, but he's in the middle of Birchas Krishma or Sukkot Zimra. The place he's allowed to lain because it's a tzibur of the tzibur, it's not a hefsek. There's a minhag that the Baal Koreh gets a tוכחה. Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong. It's not dangerous. You're not losing anything. Just no one else wants it. So the standard minhag is to give the Baal Koreh, unless it's the Kohen or Levi, and then the Gabe gets it. And one final halacha. I'll read the words of the Alleviate, one of the Shainim in Hilchos Sefer Torah, the end of Sefer Yudches. Akor b'Torah kilchasai. If it does it right, Marichel Yomtov v'Shnoisav, Shenam ki bir b'Yamech v'Simcha v'Shnois Chayim. It's a hard job. With a special school of Arichas Yomim, amein b'Yomim.
The training should be a share to expenses for a shit as a very expensive sponsoring a shit called Initiative, etc. 851-8651. This was a distinction for a share 5 minutes. And I never got catch them, I was like a throw the side, so to speak up. They will turn this to Chanel. I'm in their office and I'm saying, go to the
People always say 5 in the back. What extent?
Very long to do. I can't make it happen. Their pashtus, the Baal Koreh is connected Moshe, the Rabbi is connected Yomtov, and the Ole is connected Yisrael. Some learn that the Baal Koreh is connected Yomtov. Whatever the case is, the Baal Koreh has a very prominent role. He is the shatz, he is laining from the tzibur, more than a typical shatz that's not really bimah to the tzibur at all times, and he's trying to give over the Torah. The shlichus, of course, of and the bimah, says the Sharafim, is connected Har Sinai, and we shackle like it is by Har Sinai, and we choose a very chashva person in the Baal Koreh, and he must prepare the Laining, even if he knows it backwards and forwards, like the Bereshit Yakov prepared. And that's why many of the halachas are based on this prominence of the Baal Koreh. We should have always three people by the bimah, connected the Bereshit, Moshe Rabbeinu, Yisrael. We try to keep only one Baal Koreh per Laining. We should change it if possible. Many people stand by Laining, even the tzibur, like it was done by amein, and unlike Megillah, that will have a sit, but Kriya said many people stand. Those that sit are doing it for more yeshiva das. Even leaning slightly for the gabe or Baal Koreh is inappropriate. It has to be amein. Slightly leaning is not yeshiva, but it's kalas das. In some shul, some requirements that the Baal Koreh was a talis, even if the Ole doesn't. We had a question about the position of the three people. Is the Baal Koreh in the middle? Most shuls, the Baal Koreh is on the left of the Ole and the Gabi on the right, and that seems to be improper, but that's the minhag. Some people have the Baal Koreh in the middle and the Gabi to his left, so you have the Gabi, Baal Koreh, and Ole. So each minhag has a makar, but one thing certain that the Baal Koreh has to know his role. He should do it right. He has to prepare. He could get paid. Some say he should get paid. Perhaps he'll do a good job. But be careful. There shouldn't be a schar Shabbos. He should prepare during the week. The Baal Koreh should not stand with his back towards the sefer Torah. That's what Mr. Guru says. Which Zaman is Mekel. We explain why, because he's also important. The mistakes, there are two categories. There's a mistake of dryness, he has to go back and lain it even if he finished the aliyah. But Aaron means you stop him and make him repeat it right then and there. S and Ace is not machzirin, but quarter of the time, say it over properly. A Baal Koreh should do things perfectly, not too fast, not too slow. Kol Mishana, Yola Tachtoina is an outlook for life that's safe. Don't be different than the tzibur. A Baal Koreh should not talk bein gavra, even if call up an oil unless that's the minhag in that shul. Let him focus on laning. Amein, he should say with the tzibur, but a little louder and slower. You can't say amein at the end when it's after the tzibur. That's a very serious amein yisayma. He should say amein not looking in the sefer Torah, because then as if he's reading the sefer Torah. If the oil spoke between the aliyah and the laining, he has to repeat the bracha. If the Baal Koreh spoke in between the bracha of the aliyah and the laining, it's not מעכב. He should, if he makes a mistake, he doesn't have to finish the posuk, especially if the Shem Hashem in the second half. Some have a minhag. Minhag is a minhag, but it's not a chiyuv. A different havarah, we say, is acceptable. Someone pointed out, that the Rabbi gave the Torah, and each part of class heard it the way they heard it, so the original havarahs will go back, perhaps even to the Baal Koreh. A chumash should not be used if the Baal Koreh needs help. Let him have help, signal helping, but not reading or talking helping, because then he might not learn from the sefer Torah. To make sure to learn every word from the sefer Torah. If he sees the word and lifts up his eyes or closes his eyes, as long as he's learning from what he saw, so Torah we connect the laining with the reading, and it's okay. Bar Mitzvah boys, some do not allow him to lain the whole parsha because he might lain it Baal Koreh. Some allow him, but in either case he should do it right. The laining, where there's a kriya ksiv, we look at the ksiv and see the kri. In other words, you see one word and read a different word, like the Shem Hashem of Abdus and Yud Kei Vav Kei. Using a yad, if it doesn't scratch the oasis or block the oil from seeing, is okay. If your mouth is dry, you can drink before kiddush without a bracha, and not a hefsek is a tzibur. Plastic should not be used to help with the kudis or even to prevent any saliva from hitting the sefer Torah. We don't do new things, and that's the way it should be. If the Baal Koreh gets the chazak ali, he should not say chazak, someone else should. In the middle of Sukkot Zimra, if need be, he could lay even in the middle of Perchas Krishma. The Torah that the Baal Koreh gets is not a problem. The Rekeas bracha is standing for the oila, for the Baal Koreh, special bracha, because he worked hard, and I should have mentioned, after the Baal Koreh finishes, then I'm going to be Ashikaya, because he did work hard.